Hello and welcome to Day 9 of the Healing from CPTSD course. So in today's module, we will begin our journey to healing from CPTSD and taking our lives back with part 1 of this 5-part process, which is learning the emotional dissolution technique short form. Now, first of all, I know the emotional dissolution technique can be quite a mouthful, so I like to shorten it by just calling it EDT. From here on, I will simply be referring to this technique as EDT short form and tomorrow's technique by EDT long form. Now, the truth is, this technique of EDT is at the core of your healing process. Honestly, this technique alone can largely allow you to heal your trauma, soothe yourself in stressful situations, and to heal and take your life back on virtually every level. To go over the basic philosophy or idea behind this simple yet powerful technique, the truth is, within us, whether we know it or not, we all want everything to simply be okay. When we feel that everything is okay, we feel calm, peaceful, and at ease because we are simply allowing ourselves to bask in our own well-being. Think about it. When you desire something that you don't have, you believe that by acquiring this thing, you will gain a sense of being okay or happiness. Conversely, because you currently don't have this thing, you feel that you aren't okay. When you're worried about anything, you have a general sense that things are not okay now and will also not be okay if a certain something doesn't happen. Now, this applies to everyone on the face of the planet in one form or another. We just want to feel like everything is okay. But for those of us who struggle with CPTSD, we really feel like nothing is ever okay and that things aren't going to be okay. In other words, we constantly feel as if things are not okay and won't be okay. This creates a bit of an inner struggle between our mind's incessant worrying and our natural state of well-being or okayness. But the truth is, at the core of our being is a natural feeling that everything is okay. All we have to do is remove or dissolve any inner tension that things aren't okay in any given moment, and we will naturally regain awareness of our natural sense that we are okay and everything is going to be okay. And this is precisely what we'll be doing with the emotional dissolution technique, or EDT. Both the short form as well as the long form will allow you to identify and root out any feelings that you aren't okay and that things aren't going to be okay, and to learn how to dissolve them so that you feel okay in the present moment no matter what's going on. Those of us who struggle with CPTSD have always felt that things aren't okay, but when we learn to soothe, calm, and dissolve this feeling that we are not okay and that things aren't going to be okay, we will find that sense of inner peace, joy, and general feelings that everything is okay and that we are okay right here, right now. So that is the basic idea behind this technique. Now, because this technique takes a little bit of practice to get used to, we'll be learning and practicing it over the next number of modules. Not only that, but this is actually part of what will be your daily practice. You'll also be able to take this technique with you wherever you go during the day. This technique will help you significantly to feel better from your inner critic. It will soothe you and calm your nerves when you're having anxiety, and is extremely helpful when you're experiencing an emotional flashback. EDT short form is what you're going to be primarily using to address emotional flashbacks as they are happening and to soothe yourself through them. Not only that, but this is also how you can actually dissolve your toxic shame without having to deal with anybody else if you don't want to. Remember our analogy of seeing our shame as sort of a room full of darkness we are in, and to remove this darkness, we must let the light in? Well, the truth is, the light we are referring to here is the light of being seen, heard, and exposed to others. However, this is also something that can be done on your own by seeing, hearing, and exposing your feelings to the conscious awareness of your own mind, and then learning how to simply let these feelings go. Lastly, because you are using a technique such as this to work on your own healing and personal development, this means that this technique also addresses the area of self-abandonment. So as you can see, this simple method alone will largely be addressing every area of CPTSD that you deal with. In addition to what's been covered here, this method can also be used to help you overcome any habits or addictions you might be struggling with, and even make it easier to set and achieve goals for yourself if you'd like to. This is done by learning how to identify and remove any inner emotional blockages or resistance that might come up for you when trying to work on yourself and your goals. I think you'll find after learning this technique that it really can be applied to almost everything, as well as be really fun at the same time. But always remember, what you will be learning here is simply meant to be an aid in your healing journey, and if you feel that you would like to see a therapist or doctor at the same time, that is perfectly fine. This method and course are merely meant to be helpful tools to aid you in your healing and recovery process. So without further ado, let's jump right into learning this technique, shall we? Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is get in a comfortable seated position and to simply start focusing on your breath. You can do this either with eyes open or closed. What we're going to do is to simply start turning your focus inward with some simple rhythmic breathing. Inhale slow, long, deep, hold briefly, and exhale slow, long, deep. Repeat this a few times just so that you begin to relax into the present moment. Once you've done that, begin to think of something that's going on in your life currently, something that's happened recently, or maybe even something from a while ago that really bothered you or upset you in some way. When you've thought of something that has been a source of annoyance or some other form of inner discomfort for you, simply turn your focus to what you are feeling about this particular incident. Now, you might feel yourself tightening up with some inner resistance around this issue. You might feel annoyed, angry, maybe stressed, worried, and scared, or you may feel a sense of numbness or nothing at all. Whatever this feeling is, simply observe it without any judgment and allow the feeling to simply be here with you. Don't try to change it or get rid of it or deny it. Just let it be for the moment. When you've gotten this feeling in your focus, what I'd like you to do is take a nice deep breath in, hold your breath briefly, and then exhale after I ask you a simple question. The question is, could you be okay with feeling this way? And when you answer either yes or no to yourself, exhale slow, long, and deep, as if this feeling is being released from your mind and body through your breath. Now, after doing this, you may have felt a slight shift or lightening within you, or you might have felt nothing at all. Whatever you felt is perfectly okay. This technique will take a little practice to get used to, but once you do, you will find that you will be able to safely and effectively dissolve or get rid of any uncomfortable feeling or emotion within you with only your focus and your breath. How cool is that? So what we'll do is practice this a few more times here, and then I'm actually going to let you do some practice on your own so that you can get used to this process. I've included a guided MP3 of this method that will both guide you through it as well as give you some time to practice this and go deeper so you can get the hang of it. So take another few deep breaths in and out and get centered again. Now think of this issue again, and again, just notice how it makes you feel inside. Just observe this feeling, and when you've got the feeling in your focus, simply take a nice deep breath in, hold briefly, and ask yourself, could you be okay with feeling this way? When you answer either yes or no to yourself, exhale at the same time and try to see and feel that this emotion is leaving your mind and body as you do. By the way, answering either yes or no is perfectly acceptable, as when you are honest and genuine about how you feel, it allows the light of your awareness to come in and dissolve that feeling. So answering either yes or no are both acceptable answers. Now let's do this once more before I let you spend some time with this on your own. Just as before, take some deep breaths in and out to get yourself focused, centered, and calm. Think of this issue once more and notice how you feel about it now. Simply observe this feeling, and when you are ready, inhale slow, long, deep, hold briefly while you ask yourself, could you be okay with feeling this way? And as you answer either yes or no, simply exhale and see and feel this feeling leaving you with your breath. So with that, we're going to conclude this module for today in part, but as mentioned, the exercise for the day will serve as the remainder of this module. As stated above, I have included an MP3 here that you can listen to as is, or download and listen to it so you can spend a little time getting some deeper practice with this technique. Be sure to give yourself the time to do this so you can get the most out of it and so that you can prepare yourself for the next number of modules. So as stated above, the exercise for today is to listen to the accompanying MP3 here, which is a guided session of short form EDT. This guided session will give you some more time to practice this technique and to go a bit deeper with it so you can get the hang of it. The MP3 is only about 20 minutes long, so as to give yourself some time to practice it but not to overwhelm you. However, it's also designed for you to listen to and practice as much as you'd like wherever you are and whenever you need it. When you feel you've gotten the hang of it, you don't need to listen to the MP3 anymore if you don't want to, as you'll know how to do it all on your own. So go ahead and either click the MP3 to listen to it as is, or feel free to download it and put it on your computer, phone, or MP3 player so you can do it wherever you'd like. I hope you enjoy this process, and I will see you in tomorrow's module.